So,
All right, it's 5 o'clock. I'll call the June 20th, 2023 City of Cumming Planning and Zoning meeting to order. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a move to adopt.
Motion second, everybody vote, carries unanimous. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve May 16th, 2023 minutes?
So move.
I'll second it, everybody vote, carries unanimous. Thank you. Item 4, any old business, anybody? No. All right, item 5, new business. A, Hall Creek Baptist Church, annexation number 2023076. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Make a move we open.
And second, public hearing now open. Somebody want to come up and tell us what we got going on here?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Paul Hamby with Hall Creek Baptist Church.
All right,
Yeah, the church wanted to annex into the city for a couple of different reasons. Number one, we were concerned about Hall Creek Road. We'd like to eventually get that road closed, abandoned, once Hall Creek Parkway is extended back over to Ronald Reagan Parkway. We have a lot of people cutting through our parking lot. It's just not safe. A lot of people speed on that road. And that's the number one reason we'd like to be part of the city. We know that the hospital property is in the city of Cumming, and we feel it might be beneficial if we were to, and we could work together with both the city and the hospital to make that happen. A second reason is because of Sharon Springs. Several years ago, when that was brought up to be voted on to be a city, we found out that the church property would be part of that city, and we would prefer to be proactive and become part of the city of Cumming because we feel like we're more aligned with the city of Cumming.
all right.
So,
Thank you, Paul. We may have some questions, but we'll let you know.
thanks.
Anybody else want to speak for, again, got any comments on this? All right.
sorry.
Yes, sir, come on up.
Good evening. My name's Chris Clark. I live in Grand Forks subdivision adjoining the neighborhood that adjoins the church.
Okay.
I'm personally opposed of it. I don't see the benefit expressed in the application. It just says petition to work with city Cumming to obtain closed portion of Haw Creek Road, extend Haw Creek Parkway to connect at the end. I believe that's something they could definitely do with the county. I'm not sure that requires annexation into the city. From my understanding, years ago, the Haw Creek Parkway was proposed, and then it runs through not church property, Northside property. They don't really want it, from what I heard 10 years ago or whatever it was. Sort of a non-issue. I do agree that people speed up and down that little road. I'm sure people cut through their church occasionally. I know they have some, no cut-through signs and stuff like that. So definitely those things would be better. But one of the things in your last survey you had out, and it's on your website, is you guys really, people in the city hated the traffic. Well, if you take this into account and you close a road, it's going to increase traffic, because now then we're not going to be able to come out of our neighborhood and head towards 13 through sort of a back cut through. You're going to force people to this new Haw Creek Parkway, and then everybody's going to be turning and cutting through there off of 20. And if it closes before the parkway's done, then everybody has to get back on 20. Right now at 5 o'clock, 20's backed up past Q, down to that fire station sometimes, just the lights and all the way to 400. So just a few things that I think, the city should, I don't think annexation's right for it at this time. Side note, I'm not really sure what other benefit it has for them. I would imagine the tax base of a church, city-wise or county-wise, is probably zero or something like that. I think our neighborhood pays $20-something in taxes a year because we have a pool. That's it. So I feel like it would be a bad move. And then just secondly, Scott, I forget his last name, the direct,
Morgan, he's right here.
oh,
Good to see you.
nice to meet you, sorry. He kindly emailed me some stuff after I reached out to Councilman Light, because I saw this on a Saturday, and there was nothing, presumably it went up on a Friday afternoon, and there was nothing on the website till Tuesday. So not sure where the communication and the notice didn't get. And then there's 3 parcels, so the only other issue I would have had is I thought all 3 parcels should have had a sign notifying the public. But
Parcels are contiguous, right?
Right, and Chris.
they are, but they aren't, because like you see the, off of 20, you see the cemetery, but you would never know that it's being rezoned unless you're in front of the church, if that makes any sense. So just for those reasons, I would ask that it gets denied, not pushed forward. And then, you know, definitely not a road closed until a road is built. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Please state
Good
your name.
evening. Monty Preeb. I'm also a resident of the Grand Forest subdivision that's bordering this proposal. I also don't see the benefit. Right now, the road that's being used is not properly enforced. We do see the big gravel trucks using that road, even though the signage is there not to be using that road. But the problem is that we can't get in and out of our subdivision, and with the increased traffic over the last 5 to 10 years, it continues to be real difficult just to get out of our own housing subdivision. That's not a tenable proposition based on what I see on the drawings that have been provided here. It doesn't help us, it doesn't increase enforcement, it doesn't increase ability for us to get out and go to where we want to go onto the road. It does increase access for traffic that's already backing up on Highway 20 that would come down. Now, if you say Haw Creek Parkway would be the only access in, that's going to further back it up. And I would like to know what's going to happen with signage, lights, all of the above, before something like this is approved. That's what my concern is that it's just going to box us in, and actually by doing so would decrease the value of our property. And that's not why we located there years ago. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
If you want to, or I can.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a move to close.
Okay. Ricky, have you got any questions for anyone?
No, I really don't.
I got questions for Scott, for our staff. Where that's closed and going through eventually, that the hospital's bought all that and we've annexed that, and it's part of their master plan, correct?
Yes, we've annexed the 12 acres.
The 12 acres, and that's where it dead ends, and it's in their master plan to eventually extend that.
Correct.
And, okay, we wouldn't be closing anything till it was extended, more than like, I
Well,
can't say that for sure.
Closing a public road is a whole different process.
That's what I'm saying, and we can't do that.
Annexation doesn't mean a road's gonna be closed.
Right,
That's an
and-
entirely different
Right.
process, has to have a petition, we have to give, the city has to find there's no reason for the road to continue to exist.
Okay.
And then go through the process of closing it, and then go through the process of getting rid of the dirt. I mean, it's a whole different process.
And that's what I'm saying, and that would come more along. The reason that got cut through there, is the hospital ended up buying the other end, and it's all in that big, huge master thing we looked at 5 years ago.
Right.
All right, I just wanted clarification on that. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, do I have a staff report on this?
Yes, sir, in your packet, if you'll address it. The property owner has made application to annex 8.602 acres, more or less, and rezone from a combination of county single-family residential, which is R1 and R2R, to city institutional. Located on the property is a church, fellowship hall, cemetery, playground, and parking. The property owner will not be developing or selling any of their property. The adjacent property is Northside Forsyth Hospital, which is also zoned institutional. Therefore, the requested annexation rezoning would conform to the existing and future land use of the comprehensive plan. The county has been properly notified of the proposed annexation, and we've received the 5-day letter in your packet. However, we've not been provided a final response as to whether or not they will file an objection. If the annexation is approved, it will result in sections of Hawk Creek Road and Hawk Creek Circle becoming city right-of-way under annexation law. Based upon the continued existing and surrounding property uses, staff recommends approval of the annexation and rezoning, provided the county notify the city they have no objection to this annexation. As we discussed before, you can make a recommendation to the council based on not receiving final notification from the county, but of course, the council can't take any action.
Right, that's between,
till
but that's nothing unusual, that's between.
And I'll reiterate what legal counsel has said, just annexing this property is not going to change any of the roadway configurations.
So we can't
Other
just
than
close
us-
the road.
Other than us, we would be taking over right away because we're on both sides of those sections of those two roads if the council approves the annexation.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll make a motion, we send Hall Creek Baptist Church annexation number 2023076 forward to the council for approval with the condition that you have to wait on the, it's automatic anyway, but you have to wait on the response from the county before the council meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, new business B, Marvin Hurst, rezoning number 2023117. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Make a motion, we open.
Second, everybody vote, carries unanimously. Thank you. Somebody want to come up on this one and explain to us?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to speak to this since Mr. Hirsch.
This is house cleaning, isn't it?
That's correct. This, and I'll speak to this in a minute, but this, Mr. Hirsch indicated he might be here tonight, but I told him that the city would be handling this, and the reason why is this always has been a single-family residential piece of property. It was inadvertently rezoned from single-family R1 to office commercial multi-story back in 2003 when we did our citywide rezoning. It was adjacent to a large tract that was agricultural, and we were eliminating the agricultural zoning district, changing that large tract to office commercial multi-story. It was ahead of all the development along Marketplace Boulevard, and it inadvertently got caught up in that and got changed. Mr. Hirsch brought that to our attention, so I was directed by the council to proceed with correcting this and rezoning Mr. Hirsch's property back to R1, single-family residential. He's built the house 40-something years ago, has lived there all this time, and of course, he's not going to do anything else different with it, just continue to live there. He may sell it, but of course, if he sells it, it'll be continuing to be used as a single-family.
Then they'd have to come back, or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
nobody could do anything else with it differently unless they came back to get it rezoned, so.
Okay.
I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have on it, but
Anybody else have any comments on this one? Okay, I have a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a move, close.
Second, everybody vote, carries unanimous. We're short-handed tonight. Okay.
and I'll just read the staff
read the staff
report
report,
in the
please,
record
Scott.
on it. City of Cumming, on behalf of the property owner, has made application to rezone 1.45 acres more or less from office, commercial, multi-story to single-family residential. The adjacent properties on Mary Ellis Park Road is zoned a combination of R1 and institutional. The property contains a single-family detached home and was inadvertently zoned from R1 to OCMS in 2003 as part of the citywide rezoning. The city is now correcting this situation. So staff recommendation is to rezone from office, commercial, multi-story back to R1.
Okay. I'll make a motion. We send Marvin Hurst rezone number 2023117 forward to the council for approval as stated in the staff report.
Second move.
Motion second, everybody vote. Carries unanimous. Thank you. Any announcements, Jeff?
No, sir.
Scott, I have a motion to adjourn.
Make a move, we adjourn.
Second, everybody vote. Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you.